feeling frustrated because photo booth acts like it's recording. I can see myself talking. Can't use my normal app for it doesn't matter why right now. But the thing is, it isn't actually recording if you have the camera app open. If you have the app that controls this bad boy open. So, ay, ay, ay. Okay, that's okay. We can do it faster, better this time. Like I said at the end of the video that no longer exists, I do have to get back into it, otherwise I'm gonna lose flow. So I'm really in it. I'm editing this script, and I've tried a few times. You know, I wrote the very first draft July 28th, and I keep getting stuck, finding other stuff to do, writing more rather than editing and organizing. So this period of my life, the main priority is figuring out my productivity conditions because my issues with productivity, one of the two banes of my existence besides miscommunications, big miscommunications, persistent or prevalent, whatever, same kind of miscommunication over and over and over again. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Not the point. Point is, how come I'm doing a thing that I'm surprised to see myself doing? It feels like a miracle. I'm going through this, thinking, okay, that doesn't work. Like this makes me think that I might be able to write an essay. You know, I've always been I write it and then I can't do anything else with it. It is what it is, you know? But I'm figuring all that stuff out, self-actualizing, I'm getting better. So what happened? What can we attribute this to? Okay. One thing, now this is something that could have worked in the past as well that I've known about myself, is I need time where I'm focused on trying to do a thing and I'm failing to do the thing, and that's fine as long as my focus stays on trying to do it. And then my motivation or my motivation, my drive to do it gets big enough to overpower to surmount the obstacles. Okay. I've had that time. I've been trying to do this for about 20 hours over the past few days. And I found other things to do with my time instead. Or I'll stare at it and I just, okay. So what are these obstacles that my motivation had to get needed so much time to be able to surmount? Anxiety, right? In my last video, I mentioned, my last actually recorded video, I mentioned my being ADHD. I have difficulty prioritizing with working memory. So being able to sort of juggle the different things that need to be juggled as you're editing a script. You know, when else have I said this thing? What point am I trying to make in this section? What point am I trying to make in this bigger section? What point am I trying to make in the whole thing? What other points have I made? And so on. All of that's really just excuses because of course I still have those weaknesses now, but I'm doing my best. So fear, right? Now, in my last video, I mentioned that I acknowledged that, but that's not enough to say, oh, I might have, okay, there must be anxiety here, isn't enough. You have to give that anxiety the microphone. You have to listen to that alarm ring. Make sure that alarm knows that it's been heard, that its job is done so that it can let you think. And so I didn't realize. So I think, what was that? Maybe 2 days ago that I made that video. And then it was yesterday that I realized that I hadn't actually done a Nazi bouncy where I give the anxiety the microphone and I let it articulate, hey, if we make the wrong decision with editing here, if we move section D over before section B and that's a wrong choice, then we will have ruined all of our work and it would have all been for naught. And so you have to make sure that you let the anxiety sound ridiculous, right? Don't take the microphone back or don't turn off the microphone. Don't start, really listen to the alarm until the anxiety's made a fool of itself, because otherwise it might actually convince you, right? So if it had just been, what if we make a mistake and then that makes more work for us because now we have to figure out, oh shit, how are we going to put section D back after section C now that we've changed the transitions? Sorry, that just triggered some anxiety because I was like, whoa, changing transitions. That sounds like a difficult thing to do. This anxiety, I think, wait a minute, Ayers, we're not good at that. Ayers, we're bad at juggling all of that stuff. We're going to fail at this. It is absolutely impossible that we do this, and it's not even worth trying. Okay, there we go. Now it's seed bounce seed. So you let it say its piece, and then you can move forward once you have the feeling without challenging it, without thinking through why it's wrong, but once you have the thought that sounds a bit absurd. So then it wasn't until I think last night that I did that, but I still didn't immediately. Today I've been at it for about 12 hours. Okay. So that's piece number two that I did in Bouncy Bouncy. Piece number three is that yesterday I got some validation from my brother about it. He had read through it. I could see the end. I could see the finished product. I could see the video working. Yeah, I could see it. I felt like I was nearly there. So of course the anxiety was less. It's less intimidating, less far away. Okay. So A, motivation build up. Focused motivation build up. Because if I get distracted, I have to do other stuff, that motivation go, if there's like a lot of other stuff. Or it depends on what the other stuff is. Whatever. A, motivation build up. B, that I bouncy bouncied what the obstacles were. I let the obstacles talk to me. They just want to be heard. C, the obstacles reduced a little bit because of the validation from my brother. Okay. D, I don't know, maybe it's something about it being printed out. It's been printed out since yesterday, but being printed out and just going through it. Maybe it feels easier to do it one step at a time. And maybe it's the physicality. I can feel myself working through it, whereas when I'm looking at it on a screen, the scroll isn't as compelling. I don't feel as much like I'm progressing. Just seeing that little scroll bar moving further down doesn't trigger as much of a feeling of progress. E, immediately before coming here and doing this, and maybe I'm underappreciating how significant this is I took it into the bathroom, into the toilet. So I knew I had a fixed amount of time and I needed something to do. My phone's busy. That's why I'm not recording with my normal app. Video better fucking have audio. Didn't I say I was going to do it better and faster? I think I have done it better. I've made better use of my time. Last time I had just gotten 3 things. Now I've gotten 5 things. And especially this one that I had been underappreciating. Okay, great job. Because last video was 8 minutes. This is 10 and a half so far. Oh yeah. Starting. Okay, so we have to write these down. If I start a project when I work on projects, it should be at my desk because I have my equipment. But sometimes I sit here and I have trouble getting into it. So to get into it, maybe just start on the toilet. I don't know how to even generalize that right now. It's basically start, you want limited time, but just like the idea of setting a timer, but maybe I haven't really tried that. The idea of going and starting on the toilet, I don't know that would have whether I would have realized that was a good idea. I've tried a timer though, and of course it could be a combination of the factors. Okay, so productivity conditions. One, motivation build up, focused for a few days on doing a thing. Maybe it's like compulsion build up. Courage build up. Maybe it's not so much about motivation as courage. Anyway, so something got big enough to surmount obstacles. What are the obstacles? B, anxiety, bouncy bouncy, reduced obstacles. C, validation, reduced obstacles. So it's validation of quality and validation of nearness to end. Okay. D, started with a partner. So when I got that validation in that meeting, we were also going through it together and I was taking notes. Something I'd also done with my buddy and that helped as well. But then I have to do something else and so I lost the impact. Okay. Well, this starting to do the editing with my brother was yesterday. But then I went to sleep right after. But we've got the other factors that have compensated. We can say that after I went over with my buddy, there hadn't been enough build up yet. So started with a partner. I feel safe and held accountable and focused. Being ADHD, having a body double. Anybody would. But that's super useful when you have ADHD and really, really need a boost for starting a project. So started with a partner. 5, started on the toilet. Okay, not the same start, but this afternoon when I started it, I started on the toilet. So limited activity options, limited time. Okay, and then fuck, I just lost it. It just occurred to me because I was about to stop at 5. At E for you guys, but what was it? It was just in my head a second ago. It popped in my head. Oh yeah, don't forget this. Okay. Limited activity options, limited time. Started on the toilet, now I'm here. Boy, we gotta hurry up so I can get back into it. Oh, the physicality. editing printout more easily, no, slaps, triggers greater sense of progress. And of course, that makes sense. You can feel the progress literally by touch and see it. We would understand, and especially we would understand why, I mean, we evolved to, okay, this thing is like bigger or it's sharper or whatever. It's real, but when it's just a scroll bar moving down a screen, less compelling. You can understand why, although that gets translated as progress, that it's not, if we didn't evolve with something, you can expect that there's fewer mechanisms for it. Okay, so physical feedback, physical manifestation, physical realism of progress, evidence of progress, physical evidence of progress. Okay, excellent. So let's just highlight that stuff so that it's easy to put this on a poster when we do our posters. Awesome. All right, let's get back to it. There better be sound and shit.